Hey guys, Dr. Brady here with Health Lunch, and today I want to give you 7 quick headache relief strategies that you can use anytime, anywhere, especially when you're in a bind, you start to feel that headache start to come on. I want to give you some simple strategies that you can use to get rid of that headache fast. Now, if you are a chronic headache sufferer, something that you're probably pretty familiar with is getting plenty of water. If you're not getting enough water, your body's going to get dehydrated, and your brain is incredibly sensitive to your water levels. So if you're not getting enough water, one of the first places you're going to feel it most is your brain. Most people start to notice one of the first things, they start to feel more lethargic. They start to feel more foggy in their way of thinking. But another way that the brain shows symptoms of dehydration is through headaches, especially tension headaches or headaches that start to wrap up around the head, or even temporal headaches. Really common, and it's a common sign of dehydration. So one of the best things you can do is get more water. And if you want to help your water absorb a little bit quicker, add some electrolytes into your water. An easy way to do that is just add a little bit of lemon to your water to give that boost in electrolytes and help replenish your system quicker. Now, another thing your brain is very sensitive to is your blood sugar. So for some people, when their blood sugar gets really low, they may start to notice that their headaches come on. And if you're somebody that notices that your headaches tend to come around when you haven't had a meal in a while or you haven't had food in a while, it may be a good idea to find some strategies to increase your blood sugar. Now, I don't mean going out there and grabbing a Snickers bar or a Reese's candy bar or some sort of artificial sugar. We want to get natural, healthy sugars that are going to increase your body's natural blood sugar levels. Now, this can be from things like fruits and even some vegetables even, but one of the best ways you can increase your blood sugar in a healthy way is getting some healthy fruits in your diet. So if you're someone that notices that you're pretty sensitive to blood sugar levels, always try to keep some fruit or some nuts or some dried fruit nearby just to give you that little extra boost when you need it most. Now, especially if you're a chronic headache sufferer or a migraine sufferer, one thing you're probably going to notice is water and food just don't really seem to touch it. And when that's the case, sometimes all you really need is just some rest. You need to get into a dark room, just need to rest, turn your brain off for a little bit, lie down, and sometimes just being in a dark room and getting a quick power nap in can be exactly what your brain needs to reset and actually get rid of that headache faster. And a lot of people notice even just getting a 15-30 minute little power nap if you can, or just even getting into a dark room and just resting and turning off your brain for a little bit can be extremely helpful. Sometimes our headaches are actually coming from our neck. Sometimes they're coming from the muscles of the neck. Sometimes they're what we call cervicogenic headaches, where they're actually coming from your cervical spine. And a great way to help get some relief immediately from these type of headaches, especially tension headaches as well, is to just do some simple neck stretches. Now, luckily for you, we actually did a whole video outlining some of the very simple stretches that you can do for your neck. So make sure you go check out that video. We'll make sure to put a link to it right up here for you so you can go check that out and use as many of those stretches as possible. Now, for some of us, we like to use these as the headache's coming on, but if you're starting to notice this is becoming a recurring thing for you, you're going to want to make sure you use these exercises and stretches on a regular basis as more of a preventative measure rather than a response. Next, I want to give you a hands-on tip that you can use. Now, this is something that you can do really easily yourself, or you can have someone you know do this for you. Very simple to do. Basically, what this one is, we're going to be massaging your suboccipitals. Now, suboccipitals are these little triangles right in the back of your skull. They're basically at the base of your skull, connecting your skull to the upper cervical spine, or the upper vertebrae in your neck. Now, these muscles house a lot of nerve endings there, and sometimes when these muscles get really tight, they can cause inflammation that starts to impact that nerve that runs up the back of the head, even into the eye. So a really simple thing you can do is you can just take the pads of your fingers, go right below where you feel your skull here, and just rub back and forth. Now, an easy way to do this is you kind of find a sore spot there and just gently move your head up, down, side to side, and just slowly kind of work that out. Now, you're not trying to dig your way to China with this one. You're just gently putting pressure until you start to feel that pressure, and then gently work it back and forth. If you work too hard on these muscles, sometimes it can inflame it more. So don't get too eager with this. Just nice and gentle, really trying to open up those suboccipital muscles, take some pressure off that nerve that's going into those headaches. Now, sometimes, especially when your headache is very intense, sometimes the inflammation is so high in those areas, whether it's the base of the skull, the side of your neck, in through your head itself. One of the quickest ways to reduce inflammation, if you think about when you sprain an ankle or got an injury, one of the quickest ways to bring swelling down or to bring inflammation down is cold. So you can use an ice pack essentially with something like this. And basically what you can do, especially if you start to feel that headache pound on the side of your head, Sometimes those blood vessels are so open and they're causing so much inflammation that we need to bring that down. One of the simplest ways you can do that is putting the ice pack just on the side of the head and just gently working that ice pack down the side, trying to flush that inflammation down and out. Now, if that doesn't really do the trick, you can start putting it on the back of the neck. Back of the neck also, again, where those suboccipitals are, you're gonna wanna use about 20 minutes on and an hour off. You don't wanna go any more than 20 minutes at a time when we're using ice. Now, if ice is not doing the trick either, then your last resort can be a heat pack, but we always wanna use ice first because most of the time this tends to be an inflammatory problem, and you don't wanna go directly to heat because heat brings more swelling to the area. So always try ice first. If ice doesn't do it, try heat and see how that helps. And the last tip that I have for you is some natural anti-inflammatories. If you have a headache, we don't always want to be reaching for the Advil, the Aleve, the ibuprofen. If you want some natural options, there's some great options out there for you. One of the top two that I recommend to all my patients is something called turmeric and ginger. You're likely pretty familiar with these. These have become very popular over the years because they're great anti-inflammatories, especially turmeric. There's a compound in turmeric called curcumin that's a very, very powerful anti-inflammatory. And what's really interesting is curcumin is also a very powerful brain booster as well, works very effectively in the brain as well, as especially ginger as well. So in a simple way you can do that is you can supplement with those. You can buy them in powdered form, put them in your food, or you can even use different teas that help extract those nutrients out there and put it into a tea form there. But those are my two top favorite anti-inflammatories that you can use, especially when you're in a bind. Now again, if you're a chronic headache sufferer, hopefully these things are helpful for you, but if you find this doesn't really get lasting relief for you, you still are feeling like you're constantly dealing with headaches off and on and constantly dealing with these issues, one thing I highly recommend you do is either seek out a health professional who can help with these sort of things. Talk to your local chiropractor, your physical therapist, your primary care doctor, whoever it may be. The other option that I highly recommend is that you check out a resource that we've developed called Conquering Headaches. It's an ebook that we've developed together after dealing with thousands of patients who've been dealing with headaches, and we found some of the top strategies and we've condensed them all into a great book for you that's going to walk you through the best steps on how to really truly get to the root cause of your headaches and finally get some lasting relief. And you can find the link for that down in the description below. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this video. Hopefully you found this one helpful for you. If it is, make sure you give it a little thumbs up down there so that tells other people that this is an actual good video. And if you're new to this channel and you like information like this, make sure you click that red button to subscribe to the channel because we got tons more amazing content coming your way. And if there's suggestions for videos that you have or topics that you're interested in hearing more about, I'd love to hear your comments down below on what else you'd like to see more on this channel. Have a great day, you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.